outpatient mental health treatment center here in Stamford, and I work primarily in the crisis program. So we provide mobile psychiatric services to children and adolescents and their families who are living in the Stamford, Darien, New Canaan, and Greenwich areas. And this is a free service that's provided to children and families. So we're called out for a various range of presenting issues and diagnoses and individual needs. So in my time working at Child Guidance Center and through this program, I've seen a wide range of presenting issues, and whether assessing for symptoms of depression, anxiety, any suicidality, self-injurious behaviors, low self-esteem, academic decline, school refusal. In all of these cases, there is a recurring and significant linkage between current or past bullying experiences and the presenting mental health issues. So according to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, about half of youth between the ages of 13 and 18 will suffer from a mental disorder of some kind. And about 1 in 5 will go on to suffer a seriously debilitating mental disorder. And only about half of these teenagers will go on to receive treatment. So raise your hand if you have at least one or two memory of feeling picked on or targeted in some way throughout your life. So if you look around, you can see a lot of people have their hands raised, and if anybody doesn't have your hand raised, you might be lying. Because I think this is pretty common from what we've heard and what we've all experienced. Current statistics suggest that almost 30% of students from grades 6 through 10 have either been a bully or the victim of a bully, and about half of high school students acknowledge having bullied other students in just the past year. Up to almost 75% of people have been the victim of cyberbullying at some point in their lifetime. Further, parents and teachers only tend to be aware that a child is being bullied 1/3 of the time for school adults and only about half of the time for parents. So bullying, we know, has become a pretty hot topic in the media and in school systems across the country, and there are good reasons for it. There are two perspectives that can be kind of looked through when looking at the linkage between mental health issues and bullying. The first is, do mental health issues cause bullying? There's little evidence that mentally ill people are the cause of bullying, though some victims tend to target younger, weaker children if they've been bullied in displacement of their aggression. The second, and I would argue more important question here, is, does being involved in bullying cause you to go on to have mental health problems? Here we have plenty of research and evidence that suggests that people with predispositions to or who have been diagnosed with mental health disorders are often the victims of bullies. The highest rates appear to be associated with diagnoses such as attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and autism spectrum diagnoses. Along with children with any special health, education, or learning needs, these children are often bullied because they are different. So what is bullying? StopBullying.gov gives the following definition. Bullying is unwanted, aggressive behavior among school-aged children. It involves a real or perceived power imbalance, and the behavior is repeated or has the potential to be repeated over time. So we know that being the victim of bullying causes mental health problems such as anxiety disorders, panic attacks, academic decline, and can lead to substance abuse as a form of self-medication. Also, it has been shown that bullies themselves tend to have more substance abuse and academic issues and wind up in jail more often than their peers. Either being the bully or the victim of bullying has been found to increase the risk of suicidal thoughts and actions in both boys and girls. We also know that suicide is the third leading cause of death among young Americans. It's important to remember that hurt people hurt people. So how are we reacting to the bullies in these situations? Are we punishing them? Are we trying to get to the source of their sadness and anger? Or are we just focusing on the external behaviors without giving much mind to the fact that this kid is likely hurting too? As bystanders, what can you do if you witness some form of bullying? Don't just be a bystander. Bystanders of bullying tend to succumb to what they believe is peer pressure and fear of becoming the next victim. Say something or get help. There are plenty of resources out there. You can speak to the school staff, you can call 211, you can talk to another friend about how to be able to get help. Do something if you're not able to say something in that situation. No No matter the source, we know that in fact, sticks and stones can break our bones, but words can also hurt us. I want to end by sharing a poem which was created during my work with a teenage student who has endured relentless and continuous bullying throughout her life from peers and adults, and even her family members throughout her life. She's demonstrated a unique and powerful ability to translate her experiences through poetry and artwork in ways that couldn't ever be described or expressed in typical verbal conversation. So this student has graciously agreed to allow me to share with you her journal entry, which is titled "The War with Myself." Physical wounds are all that's visible, yet it's the scars in my heart that are truly unforgivable. Saying I'm fine is my only self-defense, coming from my lack of self-confidence. The war with myself continues on. I know more pain will start to spawn, but what can I do? I can try to blame it all on you. Try as I might, as much as I fight, the war with myself continues on. The pain I feel, it might never be gone. I'm shackled to a suffering soul. The key I need is the key you stole. I struggle to find a brand new life, but I'm 6 feet deep in solid strife. The war with myself continues on. Is the pain I have just another pawn? I can try to deny your abuse, but that might just lead to more misuse. I used to have more self-respect, but now my mind is completely wrecked. I wish I didn't have to hide, but helping myself has no guide. The war with myself continues on. So though this teenager is working hard in therapy to manage her symptoms and all of her reactions related to her early life experiences, the wounds of her bullying were and remain deeply unhealed. Bullying prevention is certainly important, but I strongly encourage the targets of bullies to talk to someone as soon as they can. Again, there's a lot of help out here for this, and you don't have to just take it or hope that it gets better or goes away, because these are serious issues, and you can have serious symptoms that affect all areas of your life going forward. So the thoughts and feelings associated with these experiences last far beyond the episode or episodes, which is important to remember, and perception changes much slower than reality. It's also important to know that bullying is never ever your fault. Nobody deserves to be bullied or harassed.